What up, guys? Welcome to Base Damage. And this week, I almost said the wrong number. Podcast number 58. Continuing on our SAO Ordinal Scale set discussion, we have Kool-Aid and TImmy.
Yo, what's going on?
It's all good, bro. How about you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of interesting little stuff to go through today. We're also pre-recording this a little preemptively because you said you had a convention thing coming up this weekend.
I do. I'm going to NecoCon this weekend, November 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So
awesome, dude. Hope you have a good time. So we're recording this before you leave for that, and so this will be out like next week. Hope everyone had a good Halloween last week. If anybody didn't notice, after the little credits thing, I put something in there that was just, me being stupid. It's whatever. So if anything else comes out, like over the weekend, or like big news gets announced over this coming up weekend, we'll announce it in the next one, as far as like any big news, whether it be sets or whatever. So far, no changes in P5, apparently still coming out in February. That's about it. But yeah,
we can only hope.
Yeah, I know, right? Here's hoping, but of course the joke going around for that is, that's just the date that they can that they can tell us. Oh, we're getting another delay. That's just the day that comes around. Is just they're going to say we're having another delay. So that's all that date is. Because it's also like right before Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
which is when
that's an easy way to break some hearts anyway.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to get, like, the P5 game on Valentine's Day this year.
Huh.
And then that got delayed for, like, 2 months, and everyone's like, what the fuck? Anyway, so no real big announcements for that. But if anything else comes up, like, over the weekend, whether that be, like, regionals thing or anything of that nature, we'll try to cover that in the next podcast. To which, like, a whole bunch of the regionals have already occurred, and I'm going to eventually try to do a podcast, like, covering all of those. I figure grab some people and then discuss, like, the results of what has happened for a lot of those, and try to, just kind of compile, like, what decks have been topping and stuff like that. We're going to try to do something pertaining to that. So, but today, our favorite set that has, I think at this point, more sets than Love Live original, not Sunshine.
Probably actually by now. I think so.
I know some of the Love Live sets that we got were like combined movie sets and whatnot from the JP sets, so I don't know if that counts overall or whatever. Anyway, so
I think just like base number wise though, I think they're either even or it finally surpassed. I'm not quite sure.
Possibly. Wouldn't doubt it was today. God, I can't write. Trying to make, notes and whatnot. Because I do have some notes for going back to certain cards that we end up talking about. Because this is going to end up being on the... Okay, yeah. Had to make certain. So this is November 7th. So, alright. And continuing from last week, we went over all the yellow cards for Ordinal Scale. And this week we're going to be trying to go over all of the green cards. And it's a full set. I wanted to try to compress as much as I could for future full sets. But for this, I felt it just necessary to go over each card instead of just kind of picking and choosing.
Yeah, because, they couldn't be gracious and just give us vanillas of just, it's a vanilla. Pass.
Right?
Button.
I think we saw like one vanilla in the yellow.
Yeah.
But for this one, instead of just having primarily Asuna cards, whether they are or aren't, we have various Lifa/Suguha cards, the new characters in there, Yuna and Eiji. I'm trying to see if I've noticed anybody else. The dude who made the Agma, Shigemura. So actually covering a couple characters in this and not just one character. So
right, this is like Suguha and then all the movie antagonists.
Yeah, actually, it's a good point. Like, every single one of the movie antagonists are green for this, so that'll be interesting. I've gone over a bunch of the cards for green already, just kind of preemptively, and it's some very interesting stuff. But we'll get to that when we get to it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start the shenanigans that is Ordinal Scale. Obviously, starting off I'll start it off with Leafa, little sister thinking of her big brother, which more of this like fantastic looking art that they've put specifically for the movie packs or for the movie art.
Yeah,
or
I'm
whatever.
loving like this movie shot of just staring off in the distance.
It's just like, will he ever have the same feelings? You know, it's just kind of thing. It's just one of those dramatic shots, absolutely. Like, so this is a double rare, and it's a level 0. So 00500, 2 skills. And it is when you use, up to 1 time per turn, when you use an act ability, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1,000 power. So anything that's just a normal backup would gain essentially be able to do like an additional 1,000, or anytime you do a brainstorm, which would be really interesting for a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. Her second ability is when your climax card is placed in the climax zone. Notice it doesn't matter what the climax is. It could be any of them. And you can pay 1 stock, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your library, search for up to 1 avatar net character, put into your hand, put the rest into the waiting room. So that's in the previous podcast we were also talking about they reprinted like Mother's Rosario, but it's like as a yellow stock soul. And I feel that a lot of the effects in here are kind of pushing for that, because what you can do with any of the stock souls at this point with this effect is you can get that stock first and then go ahead and pay it out for this effect.
Yeah, like
So.
that's a free check top 4 and add 1 to hand.
Yeah. So I feel that a lot of the effects that they're going to try to like push people towards are like, hey, these are really good effects. Look, it just happens to synergize with these types of cards.
Not like we made it this way, but you know.
Yeah, it's not like we did this on purpose or anything, like them tsundere fucks that they are. Anyway, I just might have had a little bit of salt there. Anyway, but really cool effect, and considering it essentially affects like every single card in the entire set, minus like what, Pina?
Yeah, like especially since it's a 0 too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this is gonna be a really strong card that we're gonna see.
Any of the cards that matter, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. So that's really cool, and even for just like having this as a double rare 0, I actually kind of like this one. So,
And then it doesn't exhaust its use either after just the climax summon, because you do get 1,000 power every time you use an act ability, which is really good as well.
True, and it's also not
Considering
like
most of the time we just get like 500, right? But then again, you can get 500 twice per turn.
Yeah, usually that's kind of how some of those go.
Yeah.
But moving right along, we have number 22.
Number 22, Songstress Yuna, level 3, 2 cost, double rare. If there are 2 or fewer climax cards in your waiting room, this card gets -1 level while it's in your hand. You may, when you place this card on stage from your hand, you may pay pay no cost. You just heal. Boy, I'm messing all this up. This Japanese getting on my nerves.
I know, right?
When this card attacks, choose up to 1 character that's either avatar or net, and this character gains X power for the turn, where X is 500 times the amount of characters with avatar and net on your field.
Okay, are you actually like reading the Japanese that's over to the side, or are you just?
I read a lot of it.
I'm gonna say, damn, son. I'm gonna say.
I read a lot of it, but then I was like, oh wait, nope, I messed up. Let me just go back to the bottom.
Yes, scroll down further, bro. I was like, wait, was he doing that for all of the last podcast too? Holy shit! I forgot that you can read a lot of the kanji and whatnot for it. So
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So this one, early play plus heal, always pretty cool. And let's see, for each of your others, so she can only get like 2k off of her last skill, which is kind of whatever. But either way,
You can
new
choose
girl.
any character and give it the 2k though, so that's not
true.
too bad.
It states other characters. I'm sorry. So you
Yeah.
can't give it to herself. That's kind of sad.
Nah.
It wouldn't be better if you could add it to herself, because that means she can't get above 95 without
Without any
outside help.
assists or outside help, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah.
But I feel like for an early play, it's all right though.
Yeah, I've seen some that are just like early plays with the heal anyway,
Right, like
without
I mean,
anything else. So. All right.
not like
so-
we're still going to be dropping Kiritos or anything, but I mean,
All right. Us with our awesome new mechanic last Sunday.
but yeah, no, I feel like with the if you're playing just mono green or maybe even like green yellow, you don't feel like running the level 3 Kirito, this is probably a good substitute for it.
Fair enough. I can understand that too.
If anything, you can make one other unit just really big to get over that one wall.
That's true. If you think the last shot, 4 damage isn't going to stick, you can make Xenon even bigger. Golly, she would get so huge off of that too. Oh my god. I did that to one of our guys who comes out there to our locals because I was using last shot and whatnot this past Sunday, and like I go to do the skill and he's like, okay, I'm going to activate a backup, and I'm like, this is before the backup. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway because he was just planning to go ahead and get over the Xenon, and I'm like, dude, it's wait to see if this resolves first because she may get bigger. Because he was like trying to go ahead and do it. Like, I love the kid to death, but at the same time I was like, dude, 1, there's an order of operations here. 2, you might not be able to back up to stop her anyway.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. So that was just timing is a thing. So anyway.
And then it ended up getting bigger anyway.
Yeah, it ended up the 4 didn't stick, and she got swole, and he was like, oh yeah, I can't stop that anyway. Fuck. Okay. So that's whatever.
Why'd you put the effort into it?
All right. But next, number 23, Suguha Kendo Camp is a rare. So only 2 double rares for green, which is interesting. I would have thought they would have more, especially with like the new people and whatnot.
Nah, man, they gotta save it off blue.
Yeah, I know, right? All them Xenons. 003K, so you're going to have something, because this has effects too. Continuous effect of all your other characters can't side attack. So even that's kind of minimal. That's whatever. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can pay 1, pitch 1, and search for a Avatar Net character. So your standard drop searcher, but it's a little bit bigger than your standard drop searcher, because I think most of those are only like 2K anyway.
Yeah, they're really small.
Yeah. So it just feels kind of weird. Like, I'm fairly certain SAO already has drop searchers. I think it was from like earlier sets, but this set has drop searchers. Like in general, like SAO itself has drop searchers that I think would be, more suited than this. I don't know.
Right.
That's whatever.
Honestly, I feel like I would run any other drop searcher than a drop searcher that tells me I can't side attack, because sometimes I don't like running my 0 into 0 reversers.
This is true too. Like
sometimes I like just walking around them and letting them reverse themselves on me.
Like, it's your other one, so she could still side, but at the same time, like you said, you want to be able to do what you want. So
right.
It's kind of weird.
Especially if there's just another card that does the same thing and doesn't restrict me.
Jesus Christ, this art for this next one.
Ooh.
You gonna be okay reading this one?
Ooh. Sugaha in swimsuits.
I don't
Level
know if
1,
I'm gonna put a
0
bar
cost. It's a rare. It's quite bait as well, actually. When this card is placed from hand to the stage, choose one of your characters in the front, or choose one of your characters in your opponent's front row, and that character gets 1,000 power till the end of turn. I'm sure they do, looking at this card.
Yep.
But and then once per turn, when you use an act ability, this card will gain 1,500 power till the end of the turn.
Like, it's only a 500. It's oversized, quote unquote, for a level 1 with an effect.
Oversized, all right.
Yeah, I know, right? So, puns all intended. But this is only like 500 over. I've seen this drawback on a 1065 before. So by comparison, I feel that this isn't necessary. That's whatever. For a mediocre secondary effect. Like, this is not bad, but it could be way better.
Yeah, I feel like that it's meant to combo with the 0 we read earlier.
Fair enough.
And it'll become 2,500 instead of 15.
It'll become 2,500, and then if you do a free, like, 102K backup, like Vice Commander Asuna, it'll end up being like a plus 4,500. So you could still get her up to, 10K at that point? Like, for, a simple backup like that, which is still not bad. But it's just kind of whatever on this card. It's not what people were focused on, right?
Right, no, focus, right.
Right. Oh wow, I accidentally clicked that one twice. So, so I do have. Okay, I have number 25. So AR Idol, which is the augmented reality idol, Yuna, number 25, is a 106K. So another oversized, but this is also a rare. If the level of the character opposite this is higher than the level of this cannot front attack. I've seen this on one of the new Asunas from Re-Edit. and a climax combo with Big Stage Dreamt Of. When this attacks, if that climax is in the climax zone, you may return the top card of your stock to your hand.
Oh.
Of your stock? Okay, I think the first time I went through and read that, I thought it read clock. But
Oh no, clock would have been like, this card's a 4-of.
that's what I'm saying. So I was like, okay, this isn't bad. And then, because that's a fairly like big level, like restriction, unless you could find a way to increase its level. So anyway, Big Stage Dreamt Of. Let's pull that up real quick. Also, if anyone wants to look, the link in the description for the site we're looking at this on, Heart of the Cards. Big Stage Dreamt Of is, once again, another one of the stock souls. It's a green stock from Waiting Room, and all your characters get +1 soul. They're trying to push for that, it seems. So, okay.
Oh, that's interesting, though. I mean, it's like a really complicated salvage combo.
You know, you're not wrong, now that I think about it.
Because you take a green card, you put it on top, you swing with her, you get it back.
Yeah. But that means you can only basically get like green characters off of this. I mean, I guess like you said, with all the antagonists being in green, they're wanting to have that synergy with all the antagonists,
right?
Type thing. But that's whatever.
I mean, who knows? It might come in handy. But I mean, so does Zek and Yuki.
Yeah, sure. That's the damn truth. Believe me, everyone was thinking it. No worries. But then
But honestly, though, outside of that, it's quite interesting how this reacts. But
yeah, like I'm not worried about it. Like it's okay. It could be better for a climax combo, but it's okay.
I mean, 6K base isn't bad though.
Yeah, especially for like one that's free. But
yeah, free, and then it doesn't really affect you until they have a higher level than you. So I mean, if you're both at 1, you're good to go.
Yeah, like the it was an Asuna from the re-edit set that had like the same thing.
Agile start, yeah.
Yeah, but you had the Sleeping Knights Brainstormer could mitigate that by making her a level 2.
Right.
So you're like, okay, I'm like a fucking 9K level 2 at that point. I can't remember if it was a 9K or bigger.
It was something like that. It's quite big. If I had my deck in front of me, I would totally go look at it because it's in my deck. But because Agile Start's a pretty good card for being a 1.
It really is. But continuing right along, number 26.
26. Yuna, words and actions with hidden meanings. It is a level 2, 1 cost, 6k power, rare. Memory. If there are 2 or more characters in your memory with either avatar or net, she gains 4,000 power, and she has character encore.
So if you had like 2 of the Asunas from the first one, from part 1 that we were talking about, that one Asuna that can send itself to memory.
Yeah.
There are other cards that end up letting you do that. There's a specific interesting little combo you can do for this.
That's interesting, though. She becomes a 10k if you have 2 or more characters in the memory, though.
Yeah, no, that's actually really cool.
For a 1-drop?
Yeah, at that point,
with no repercussions, no... Like, she even has character encore. Like,
yeah. Freaking awesome at that point. Like, that's actually really nice. Like, obviously, some people don't really care to run a whole bunch of level 2s anymore, but I don't mind. Considering she get big, so...
Right. And then, just because I saw a couple cards that we're going to go over in a bit anyway, one of the AGs sends himself to memory as well, so...
Yeah.
So honestly, that might be quite consistent.
Quite possibly. I went ahead and pulled up the next climax for this. Number 27, AG Bait Provoking. So he's one of those baiters. He likes to post all those weird things on Facebook that just, get people triggered and shit.
Oh yeah, especially, the one with the picture of the fish and the hook. Like, it's great.
Yeah, bro. So, you could say he's a master at it. He's a rare. He's a 2/1, 8k, 1 soul. 2 different effects. The second effect I'll just go ahead and state. If he becomes reversed in battle, you send him to memory. Like
he's one of them right here.
Yeah. So, he also has a climax combo with Ordinal Scale number 2, which is a split 2k1 to 2k and a soul to 2 characters. Once again, that double crit trigger. But there's other cards in the set that combo off you triggering double crits, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This one is actually kind of nice, though. I remember reading this one, and I was like, oh, this actually is not bad. You put a Ordinal number 2 from your climax into your clock for the cost of it. When it attacks, you can pay that cost. If you do, choose up to 4 characters in your waiting room with either avatar or net and put them into your stock in any order, and it gets an additional soul for the turn. Now, the cool thing about this is most of the time with like the draw 2k and a souls, people didn't like because the damage spread was only an extra soul to one character. With the way that the split 2k ones are worded, they get the buff for the turn. So that means you can give this to 2 other characters, attack with AG first if you wanted to, and go ahead and get like your stock and shit and whatever, and he would get an additional soul, and they would still keep their souls even though you sack off that climax.
Yeah, so it kind of gives you the illusion of like a 1k1, except for it's just a little bit more spread out everywhere.
Mm-hmm. As far as like power and whatnot, but then he's already kind of
all
big.
The power's on one side, but
yeah,
the crits are everywhere.
Ain't that the truth? So that can balance out, and then essentially in a single turn, if you do this, you're only going to be able to do this this climax combo once in a turn because you have to sack the climax for it, sure. But by doing so, you get 5 stock from his 1 attack because you get the 4 from the combo, and then 1 from his attack, and then 2 more attacks afterwards. 7 stock in a turn is actually very nice, considering over half of it is clean.
Yeah, all that stock comes in handy in a little bit, but
you're not wrong. Like, it is really... This was actually an interesting combo, considering the synergy it actually has with being able to spread the damage around. Plus, like you said, in coming up in a bit, there's a funny card that I'm probably going to end up actually trying to do something with. But
yeah, then another thing I do like is that his second skill is just on reverse. He gets sent to memory, similar to, as you said, Last Shot Xenon.
Mm-hmm.
So referring back to the unit that we just read about as well, we can get her big like on the spot if need be.
Like if you know,
because we can just like self-reverse him, get his climax combo off, and then just send him to memory because he's self-reversed.
There you go. So,
and then all of a sudden now she's a 10k and she can get over whatever she wants. But
considering if you gave her the buff as well from the climax, it's like a 12k before anything else.
Right.
It's like, damn, girl, she get big.
That's without assist.
Yeah. But once again, interesting little climax combos that could potentially see Kool-Aid messing around with. So, but the next one, number 28.
Number 28, Leafa, upset at being absent.
She was mad she missed out.
She was pretty mad. Level 3, 2 cost, 10,000 power. It's a nice rare too. When this attacks, this card gets X power for the turn. X is 1,000 times the number of other characters with avatar and net. This ability activates up to once per turn. During the turn, this place on stage from hand. When your battle opponent becomes reversed, put the top card of your deck into the waiting room. If that card has any soul trigger icon, restand this card.
Yeah.
More restanders.
Damn. This is actually really, really nice. Sure, it's a one-time thing. I mean,
it's one time, it's on reverse, but...
Yeah, I would totally attempt to run this, like, without a shadow of a doubt.
I'm telling you, I got a list already made. I'm good to go.
Like, oh my god. There is downsides to this, and I will go through the math of that in a second here. But the first ability... One, she can get up to 4,000 power because it's in all your other Avatar Net characters, assuming that all of them have Avatar Net with a full fucking field. She get big, she gonna be able to reverse something. If you have anything else out. Like,
honestly, I can't, off the top of my head, I cannot think of a way to outdo this unless you're playing Titans.
Exactly. Like, even then, it's like...
Titans, or maybe if you're the one person playing the gray deck, maybe. I forgot how big gray can go, but
once again, this is one of those cards that kind of pushes for the climaxes with the trigger icons, whether that be the doubles or whatever, because I would totally test this out in the current build of Last Shot Xenon Zek and Yuki. I would totally do that because it's a free cost otherwise. It's just a mill. If it's got a trigger, stand. Now, the chances of this happening in what is the current build of, there's only, you have one, if you'd have this in the deck, level 3 wise. Assuming you play other level 3s, how many of those are going to be out of the deck? So,
I was like, to be fair, on average, I would say you have almost a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. Well, I say less than that.
I mean, a little bit less probably. It depends on, again, what cards you run, because a lot of the 2s and 1s and 3s also have crit triggers on them as well.
Like, a lot of the 1s don't. I think if you run the Asana, the 1/1 Asana, I think that had a crit symbol. I could be completely totally wrong. But otherwise, you're just going to have your 2s and your 3s, which is, for me, 8 level 3s and 4 level 2s. So that's only 12 in the entire deck.
Yeah, I think that's more or less for me as well, except for I think I have a couple 1s that have soul triggers on them.
And if this took the spot of one of those level 3s, and I'm trying to play her, that means there's only 11 left in the deck. And that's assuming I don't play Last Shot, assuming I don't drop a Machine of Ice or something else of that nature, that they're not already out of the deck. I can actually see this as being completely and totally fair because of the ratios. Like, if you do this in a different deck build that has higher ratios, that has the backups that have crit triggers. I've seen like 1-cost level 1s that have the crit triggers and all that. If you run more level 2s in the deck. Yeah.
You can also get quite fancy if you want, and that level 0 Asana that's on play, send 2 characters from your waiting room back into your deck to get the extra soul, I think it is.
This is true. So you could specifically... it's one of the new ones from Re-Edit. I know which one you're talking about.
I remember what she does, but I don't remember if it's extra soul or what. I forgot what the benefit of doing that was. But
the benefit of that was it basically set up your combos for Switch combo, because you could play that, put your pieces back into the deck, and then play your asanas and search for those pieces.
I mean, like, I forgot what happens when you put the 2 cards back. I forgot the rest of the ability, but
I think it was she got an additional soul.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think you got that right the first time.
So I know the Homura one gets power, so I didn't know if she got power if it was a soul. But
I didn't realize there was I didn't remember there was a Homura one.
Yeah, that's my first experience with that entire ordeal.
So before anyone states that this is like uber broke, like, oh my god, free restands for milling, the chances of it happening are greatly lessened with the current builds of what it could be run in.
But I mean, if you want to play 50 card soul deck, by all means, please do. I want to see it.
God, you run like I don't
just play 4 of this. Wait, no, it'd be 40. It'd be 42 because your only not soul cards will be Zekinuki and the Mother Cesario, obviously.
Oh my god!
But then the rest of it, you take out the other Zekinukis with the Zekinukis, and then you play triple Leafa and you restand.
See, this is where SAO would benefit from a free fresh as well.
Right.
Like, oh my goodness, that would be so amazing.
You're like, look, I'm gonna have 6 attacks this turn, okay?
Drop these and just purposely know that you're gonna hit every single one of those. Just like, I'm not stacking at all. But see, that would be so cool too if that went off. That would be beautiful. But at the same time, it's whatever. I'm definitely gonna try it out. Like, just for shits and giggles. I don't care.
I mean, it kills me more because she has a soul icon on herself as well, so...
Yeah. Like
she's encouraging playing 4 of her just to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Should be understandable.
And then with all the searching anyway, you can just search out even if you don't run that many, you can still search out all the non-crits and increase your chances quite a bit.
Purposely run purposely, instead of dropping other level 3s, drop Zekinyukis to dig everything that doesn't have a soul trigger out of the deck. That would be so cool. Oh,
exactly.
Man.
Then that same turn, you just Mother Cesario and just like attack with the 2 Zekinyukis first and just get them out of there.
I'm gonna get a restand off of it. Like, it's whatever. It'd be funny. But yeah, like interesting other little level 3s, and continuing right along with more of edgy. Swift movement number 29. I know he is such an edgelord though. I'm so sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, I like his outfit though. His outfit's pretty swag, but
I will agree with you on that one though.
But yeah, I know his hair, his motive, his sword, everything's edgelord all over him though.
So sharp it hurts to look. Oh god, I cut my eye. No. Anyway, Uncommon 00-1500. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may put the top card of your opponent's stock in the waiting room. If you do, choose a card in your opponent's waiting room, put it back into the stock. Okay. During your opponent's turn, when this becomes reversed in battle, you may pay 1 stock. If so, rest this, and at the start of your next encore step, put this into your waiting room. This is okay. I would prefer to keep the stock, unless I know for a fact it's like a fucking a climax. But even then, that's what brainstormers are for.
Right. But then I can also feel it because you're considering if you're playing the AG deck, you're gonna have the stock to spare after level 2 anyway.
Well,
with the combo.
Fair enough.
But
like you don't have to have that much. Yeah.
Even though I feel like this is really situational, where like if you don't have another 0 to play, but you're still in level 0, by all means, I will totally keep this card for its stock and continue on. But
fair enough. I've done that too, where I've been at that point too, where like every single attack gets canceled at level 0. It's like, well, I don't have anything else otherwise. Sure, I'll pay this 1 stock. I can understand that.
Right. I mean, granted, it's a temporary stay, but you're still going to get your stock back for keeping the card.
This is true too. So that's still kind of cool. The first effect with the stock's kind of whatever, but that's all good. To each their own. Then number 30.
Hang on. There you go. Number 30. Ooh. Una Fragments of Memory. Level 1, 0, backup, 500 power. When you use the backup of this card, you may choose a Una Smile you want to protect in your clock and put it into your stock. And her backup is just a 1000.
Alright. Cool thing is, like, if you combo with that Leafo we talked about first, it essentially becomes like a 2K free.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a note of this. Fragments of Memory. Una Fragments of Memory.
Una Fragments of Memory.
Because this is, once we get to the other Una, we'll kind of reference this. Because that's actually a very interesting thing. Like, if you know that that's in there, this is actually, it's a heal, but you get stock off of it. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
But
again, I feel like this antagonist deck is going to be all about getting the stock.
You're not wrong. Like, if you can end up doing that, that's still really cool.
Yeah,
no lie.
Honestly, with the Leafa, yeah, that's a 2K backup that you just got a stock off of. That's actually quite strong when you put it that way.
Leafa, why are you helping the antagonist?
So, didn't you see her role in the movie? She was mad. She got left out. So
traitor. Oh my god. Crazy.
That Kendo club made her aggressive, so she just decided to be on the enemy team.
Apparently so. Make certain I had that up. Okay, I did have that up. Okay. Basically pulled up the next 10 cards. Alright, so number 31, AG, Side Look, Full of Confidence. This is a 1/0
Full of edge.
This is actually an interesting card. The first effect, I've never seen this on, as far as I know, in English. If there's another card that does this in English, someone please tell me.
Oh, it's this card.
Please comment this in the comment section if you know any cards specifically in English, because I don't know of anything in English that does this. There may be something crazy out in JP land that does this, but I've never seen this on English. Please tell me. First effect, when this is placed from hand to stage, you may choose a face-up card in your opponent's memory and turn it face down. If so, at the end of your turn, turn that card face up. We're going to get back to this. Second effect, when this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay the cost, which is 2 stock. If so, choose one of your opponent's characters and move it to another empty slot on your opponent's stage. Board manipulation's a thing. If your opponent has purposely swung reversed characters, but they have back row characters that you want to pull forward and then use like an on reverse combo, that's actually kind of neat, and depending on your stock size, that's not a bad move, because then you get rid of your opponent's back row as well as get your advantage, because usually the back row characters are weak. This first effect can completely turn off, to my understanding, heal tax. Hibiki from Kantai, and I did a video on the heal tax abilities. If anyone wants to reference that, I'll actually put the link in the description. There are 2 heal tax cards, but they specifically they have memory effects, but you can only read that effect, quote unquote, while it's face up. It's like a ruling in other card games as far as that's concerned too. To my understanding, if you play this and they have a single Hibiki, which is the heal tax card from Kantai, you could turn it face down, and it would turn off heal attacks. You'd be able to play all of your healing cards, your last shot Xenons, and all that, and get away with it and not have to worry about it. This is not meant for specifically heal attacks. There's another card in here that reads like if there's a particular character in your remove from play. It's meant to counter stuff like that within the same set, to my understanding, but the fact that this could do this for other cards, I thought was really cool.
No, definitely.
It doesn't affect cards that stay if you have 2 or more cards in memory, because it's still there. It's still in memory.
As far as we know.
Yeah. But those effects that stay, what was it? There was also, another Kantai card. It was an event that gave your middle center Fleet Girl a buff, but if you turn that card face down with this effect, they wouldn't have that buff, to my understanding.
Right, because it'd just be a blank card.
This may just be Billy being overhyped about an effect. Again, I know I've done it in the past. Forgive me if this ends up being
it's
wrong
something
in the future.
new, so...
Yeah, it's definitely something new, and I see this as an interesting effect. This is unique to me. Even though I don't care for the character by any means of the imagination, and I know 8-Ball has some choice words for him.
But I like him.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own. Like, I'm not going to dwell on this card too terribly much longer, but it has 2 very actually decent effects. Like, the stock payment's kind of whatever, but if you think that you can get advantage off of it, there's no reason not to run it.
I mean, yeah, especially if, well, never mind, I was going to say, I guess if you wanted to reverse something, I was like, well, but you can just move it yourself. But, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Because, especially, like, imagine if they do have, like, once again, back row anti-salvage or whatever of that nature, as far as, like, cards that you know are going to give buffs and give issues and whatnot that are probably inherently weak. Throw those cards out there and reverse them for whatever.
Right.
It's
if
really
they
cool.
care enough about it, they'll pay the 3 to save it, and then you feel confident because you made them pay 3. But
oh, I love having a clock shoot target, type thing. It's whatever.
Right.
Anything of that nature. That's to each their own. But I do like that both of these effects. And I'll stop dwelling on this card at this point and move on. But anyway, number 32. This is very simple.
Yes, Knights of the Blood Nautilus. Level 1, 0 cost, 6/5. Continuous skill, you cannot play events or backup from your hand.
It's like the 4K level 0 Frightened Eyes Xenon.
Yeah.
For anyone who has not watched the movie, this is AG when he was in SAO. Spoiler alert. So,
if you couldn't tell by the name.
Which, strangely enough to me, like, obviously this is not a good card to play late game, but, early game, for a free 65, this isn't bad. It could be better, but...
I mean, it could be better, but it's free, so no
It's
complaints are from me, really.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind the oversized Xenon. That's like, okay, well, I'm probably not going to be playing backup at level 0 anyway. You're probably going to be playing backup at level 1, though, so this is not the best thing to have in the world if that's your plan. So
again, I think this is just one of those, like, it goes in this specific green deck where you want to save your stock and, make this one big play. So
exactly. So that's what.
Here's a 65 that's completely free. 65 is actually quite the good number to actually get over a lot of things with some boost. So
fair enough.
Meh.
So to each their own. See, this isn't going to be one of those other interesting little things. Number 33, Shugamura, developer of Ogma. Ogma being the augmented reality thing that they use for Ordinal scale. Is a 1/1 5K 500. I'm about to say 5K. Yeah, 500 power uncommon. He dies to Violent Ripples Levi, or I think Levi was front row. I can't remember. I know it gave like minus 1,000 to a character. I think it was front row though. He's a level assist in front and has 2 other effects. You can rest him to send a Yuna surrounded by cheers, which we mentioned off of the backup earlier. Choose one of those in your waiting room and send it to memory. So this purposely puts those in there for this effect amongst other stuff. Next is another ability where you can pay 2 stock and send that level 1 we were just talking about, the AG side look full of confidence, from your stage to your memory. And if you do, search your library for up to 2 level X or lower characters with Yuna in the name. X being equal to the number of those Yuna surrounded by cheers that you that in your memory. So this purposely removes them over time. If you put multiple copies of this on the field or whatever, and then throw all of this to the memory, and be able to search for more Unicards that way.
Right.
So, Izite. Interesting effect, plus it puts the specific one you need for that backup.
Yeah, it's something neat, but takes a little too long in my opinion.
I'm sorry, the unit surrounded by cheers has to be in your clock for the backup. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It happens. It has to be in your clock for the backup effect, but so this gets them out. Okay, well I guess if you pay the stock out for those and then put them into memory afterwards, I don't know. So really interesting.
Again, it just takes a little too long in my opinion to get full use of it, since you have to pay 2 and sack something on your stage. But
fair enough, because you can never assume that the games are going to go like normal pace too, so that's whatever.
Yeah, and continue, you also have to pay 1 for this guy as well, but
yeah, I wouldn't do that. So, but yeah, all right. So, number 34.
34. Yuna Special Stage. Level 2, 1 cost, 5,000 power, uncommon. Continuous skill, all of your other characters with either avatar or net gain 1,000 power. When this card is placed on stage from hand, choose one of your characters, and that character gains the following ability for the turn, which is pay 1. When the battle opponent of this card becomes reversed, you may pay the cost. If you do, search a deck for up to 1 avatar net character, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle.
That's actually really nice. Being able to give that to someone for free, and then like you get the ability for free, and then if you're able to reverse, you can still pay the 1, which is nice. On top of giving a buff.
Yeah, on top of blanket 1,000,
which is really cool. Imagine giving that to like Azek and Yuki. Do her effect.
I was just thinking that, honestly.
Search, get a stock from her after just paying a stock, and then search again after that, because I mean she gets pretty big off of her own abilities anyway.
Yeah, well, after the if you have a full field on play, getting 2/5, so that's not bad. Yeah.
This makes it like she's a +3/5. She'd be a 7/5, 8/5 with the Mother's Rosario before any other buffs. So this would be this would be an interesting little effect to tech. I would probably once again like tech little things here and there just to mess around with stuff.
Yeah, I mean it just helps with consistency as well. Like if you don't have access to the cards you need, this also just helps you gives it to anybody on play. So,
which is really cool. And at the same time, once again, like you said, if you don't get like the Zek and Yuki combo, you can still give this to something else and go for it, which is really cool.
Right, like you can still search the cards you need. Granted, you're probably at level 2 at this point, so I mean you would probably want another level 2 or level 3, but you know.
If you can get that early play Kirito though, bro.
yeah, you can also search the early play Kirito. I forgot about that actually. Yes.
True too.
Or any other of the early play cards in this set, but
there's an abundance of them.
Sodar has a lot of those now.
Yeah. Moving right along, this is going to be a mouthful, but I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible.
Oh, thank God, I didn't want this card.
You're welcome. I noticed it when after we had said, I'll do the odd cards, you do the even cards, and I was like, oh shit, this is an odd. Oh well. So number 35, an incarnate of the Radius. This is essentially the final boss of the movie that they have to fight. It's uncommon, 3/2, 10k, 2 soul. When this is placed from hand to stage, draw up to 2 cards and discard a card. This is probably the thing that I'm going to end up making a deck around, even though the cost for this is ridiculously high. I know this is not practical, but I like to fuck with shit. So, 2 climax combos. Okay, at the start of your encore step, if this is in the front row, you may pay the cost. The cost being 2 stock, discard 4 cards from your hand, and then put the climax, which is a gold bar, it's a 1k1 gold bar, I believe, white sacred tree, from your climax zone face down under this as a marker. If you do, put all cards from your clock in the waiting room. All the more reason to turn off that heal tax with that HE. But that's whatever. you completely and totally, I'm at 3-6, boom, not anymore. I'm at 3. Like, it heals so much, but for a ridiculous cost. And even being a climax combo, but that's because of the second ability. At the start of your opponent's encore step, so if you haven't died, and it's your opponent's encore step, you may pay the cost, which is 6 stock, and discard 3 cards. And if so, perform the following action twice. Deal 3 damage to your opponent. So you're trying to deal 6 damage in increments of 3 twice. This is a retarded card. I cannot emphasize. This is not good. This is not the greatest thing in the world by any means of the imagination, but I will probably end up making something around it because of how retarded it is.
Oh no, I feel like this card's great, honestly.
Yeah.
Not great as in like a good card sense, but great as in like this is what this we need more of this.
It's a BS thing, but it's really funny too. Like, I don't even care if I don't get the second effect off. If I can just heal off all the cards in my clock, that's that much easier.
I feel like you're satisfied win or lose depending on if you get either of the effects off. Actually,
ain't that the damn truth? Like, even if you, the problem is
like
you have
if I can walk out of a building and tell someone I paid 6 and discarded 3 cards for 1 ability, like I feel like I walked out with a victory either way.
I apologize. I did not state the other half of that. You have to
I saw it too. You need to put the marker from under this card.
Yeah.
So you need to do both anyway.
Yeah, you have to do the first one if you want to do the second one. I apologize. I didn't actually state that, even though I had read it. That was my fault. This is really stupid. This is really funny, and be prepared to see a deck profile for it. I'm just saying. Retardation incarnate is what I'll probably end up calling it. So I'll probably have to call it something else because someone might get offended by that on YouTube. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if not, you can always just call it something edgy, considering the whole entire deck's an edgelord.
Something edgy, yeah. Edgelord incarnate. I don't know. That's the same title. Wait, what?
Incarnate of the edgelord. There you go.
Right. Number 36.
Speaking of edgelords.
Yeah, I know, right?
AG, Mysterious Young Swordsman. Level 0, 0 cost, 500 power, common. If you have another character with Yuna in its name, it gets 3,000 power, making it a 3,500, which is pretty good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then put this card into the waiting room. When your character with Yuna is front attacked, you may pay the cost. If so, choose one of your characters in battle, and that character gets 1,000 power till end of turn.
Not bad. Could be better, but at the same time...
I mean, on-field backups.
Mm-hmm. I do them. I can't say I have never done them because I have most definitely have done them. So... I'm
a little bit mad that this kind of restricts itself to just the Yuna deck, or just the antagonist deck.
Like,
I feel like this would have been a really good all around card. But
yeah, like if it was just another Avatar net character for the effect, I can understand just doing 1,000 power.
Oh, definitely.
But he's weak as fuck, and if there's any time outside of level 0, he is a back row character completely. Because it's also specifically a unit, I feel that the power buff should be a little bit bigger. That's whatever. I
actually mean late game. You're honestly, unless you're the level 2 Yuna with 2 cards in memory, you're not gonna probably save the Yuna.
This is true. But yeah, we're getting into more translator note shenanigans with this next one, number 37. AG, Sipping Alone, 0/0, 1500. When this is placed from hand to stage, if there are 1 or fewer characters in your opponent's front row, choose a character in your opponent's front row, and it gets minus 3,000 power for the turn. So it can potentially kill, your opponent's level 0 automatically. Oh, that's a reverser you got there. It'd be a shame if something happened to it, Pop. But it's also, like in part 1, we had some translators' notes where they stated the name was written in kanji, not katakana, meaning it does not count as an AG for the purpose of effects that check for the name AG. We had the issue with asanas in there for part 1 that essentially had the same effect, which we don't know what they're going to end up doing for that. I'm hoping they just disregard that altogether, like when it comes to English, but it probably will make a difference. I don't know.
All right. So same with this card. If something checks for AG, this card is not AG. It's just some dude sipping alone.
Just all alone. Because I'm all alone. There's no Yuna here beside me.
Exactly.
Billy loves singing. I mean, Yuna loves singing. Sorry. Number 38.
Hang on, I gotta. There we go. Ah. Oh well, unit loves singing. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Level 0, 0 cost, 2,000 power, common. X skill. Rest this. Choose one of your characters with avatar net, and that character gets 1,000 or 1,500 power till end of turn.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like,
rest it, 1,500.
and this is always one of those ones where you can like summon it specifically just to rest it, and then summon over top of it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Number 39. Okay, this is the one that works with two other cards so far. Yuna Surrounded by Cheers. So 002K. It's a common. So this works with that Shigemura and the backup, depending on where it's at. When this card is placed from the stage to the waiting room, you may pay the cost, which is put the top card of your stock in your clock. If so, choose a card in your clock, return it to your hand, and then put the top card of your library in your clock. So two things. One, this is a lot of clock manipulation, but at the same time, you can potentially grab something that you need an important piece of as far as setting it for combos. And two, I have looked this effect up before with another card out of TOR. If the initial cost payment would level you, the rest of the effect essentially fucking fizzles, because you level...
Yeah, you level and then...
There's nothing in there afterwards, because the level interrupts the rest of the effect. Because it's not in the middle, like in the middle of the effect, it's the cost, then you do the effect. So if you happen to do this at the wrong time, sucks to be you. Otherwise, it's still not a bad card, but I've seen this on other cards before. So I kind of look at it and go, eh. But
because,
anyway,
you know, the situation happened more often than not.
Yeah, I've gotten into those situations where it would be something like that, and I go, oh, well, fuck me anyway. But yeah, but that combos with two other cards in the set, so if you do have those cards for like a specific AG antagonist-based deck, you probably want to run a playset of this regardless. So,
Right.
Then we get to number 40. So we're 2/3 of the way through.
Oh, we are, indeed.
Considering climaxes are also a thing, it's whatever.
Yeah. Shigemura, professor at the Toto Institute of Technology. Level 0, 0 cost, 2,500 power, common. When this card is placed... This card is placed from hand onto stage. Search your deck for up to one character with either Yuna or AG in its name. Reveal it and put it to your hand. And the cost is put a card from your hand into your clock.
See, this is where some of that synergy comes in. Like, if you know you're gonna you'll be able to get this effect off, you could purposely clock one of those Yunas into the clock and do this effect. Then when your opponent's turn comes around, as soon as they attack, use that backup, put that card in your clock into your stock. Put that specific unit into the stock, and then shenanigans go from there.
Yeah, it's literally like clock your Yuna, search an AG, fuel your AG with the Yunas.
Yeah, exactly. So it specifically is for that, the unit AG theme for that type of deck. So it'd be something along those lines for this type of deck anyway. It'd be kind of cool. Which is, at least you don't have to pay stock for it. To me, that's all right enough as it is. So that's kind of whatever. But this is for a specific deck. This is not going to help any of the other stuff that's currently out in SAO. So.
Nah, I mean, unless people are going to start running that AG just for the stock gain, but I doubt it.
Probably not.
I don't think we're that hungry for stock.
There's like 3 events in green. Which we talked about. Big Stage Dreamt of, Ordinal Scale number 2, White Sacred Tree, just to confirm, because I wanted to state that was a 1k1 gold bar for that level 3. Okay, that is a gold bar. Okay. And then support from the fairies. I'll go ahead and have this pulled up. But we'll go ahead and continue from there. So, well, this is simple. It's number 41's literally just a vanilla 3k Yuna.
Yeah.
So, simple.
That was a card we mentioned earlier that targeted particularly this vanilla, but yeah, I don't think it mattered too much. It was
Smile You Want to Protect had to be like in the clock or something like that.
Yeah.
Alright. I think it was one of the AG things anyway.
It was either AG or like that first Shigemura that we saw, but
oh, okay.
I actually don't remember.
Yeah. So she serves a purpose, but it's not on her. It's a different effect altogether. Okay, good thing I pulled up support from the fairies. So number 42.
Number 42, Leafa Magic Attack. Level 1, 1 cost, 6500 power, common. Climax combo. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if support from the fairies is in your climax zone, choose up to one character in your waiting room with Avatar Net and put it into your stock. And reveal the top card of your deck. If it's level 1 or higher, put it into your hand. That's it.
That's it. All right, and the support from the fairies is also a 1k1 gold bar, which is actually kind of cool considering I've seen people make like mono green Leafa decks that were not bad, weren't the best things in the world, but you know this actually is kind of cool.
I feel like this will actually kind of help that type of deck out, really.
Mm-hmm. Shout outs to our buddy Chris Cohn. He actually was working like a Leafa waifu deck at one point. I don't know if he still is. Getting the extra stock because that would essentially pay for summoning it. Because she is a 1 cost. That means she also essentially becomes a 75, at least a 75, off of playing the 1k1 gold bar.
Right.
She reverses the battle opponent. She pays for the stock that was used to play her, in addition to getting her own stock. And then can potentially replace having to play her from hand if you reveal a level 1 or higher. So this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wouldn't mind if I was forced to have to make a full field of just dropping 3 of her, because the return might be pretty significant.
Yeah, and cards like that with that 2/1 Yuna, in late game, be able to give that to this that is producing extra stock anyway to go ahead and do some more search on top of all of her effects and whatnot is really cool. And you can choose the order in which that resolves as well, just stating, but that's whatever. But just being able to combo stuff like that for even just if it was like a mono green deck or something along those lines, it'd be pretty cool, and I would be interested in seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, because you can even not run that many zeros and just run enough to get you by level 0 to get that 1 or 2 stock you need, and then after that you're just play this, and then all of a sudden your accuracy is pretty high, except for if you get a climax, of course. But
that's whatever. Considering you are already playing a climax for the combo anyway, you know that at least one's out.
Right.
But if nothing else, it's whatever. Best things, you top check a level 3 and it goes to your hand. Oh, this is gonna be great, type thing.
Right.
But still pretty cool for new climax combo from Leafa and actually being fairly decent as opposed to getting a Shimakaze Asana. There's already such a thing. Go check part 1 if you haven't already. But moving on, because I know we don't have that many left. 43, Leafa, Hardworking Little Sister. It's a 2/185. Actually kind of big, but at the same time, this is bringing in the same Suguha effect from before, where she gives all your other characters can't side attack. But yeah, I guess that's whatever if you know that you can reverse everything you have.
Suguha ain't walking around nobody.
Oh, hell no. She walking right on through them. Up to 1 time per turn, when you use an act ability, this gets 500 power times the number of your other characters with Avatar or Net. So she could become a plus 2k at most. And it's not bad. It could be better.
I mean, with all the other Leafa, like a sister in the back row, use an act ability, so she gets another 1,000.
Or like that Yuna before, that was the you can rest it to give a buff to somebody.
Right.
That would count for this because that's an act. So that's
right. So that could be very. Because that'd be 15.
12.
Yeah, and it'd be pretty out there.
So you can
because you get 15 plus another 2 plus another. Yeah. So.
Amongst whatever else you play as far as buff wise, but that's whatever. Or brainstormers and you still get this effect off type thing. So kind of cool. Once again, like you said, she ain't walking around nobody. She gonna run right into them.
Exactly.
This next one's gonna start a little bit of a debate, possibly. I say debate not between you and me, but probably the community in general.
Now that you mention, all of a sudden I have to debate with you. I don't even know what this card is. I got to read it now.
Go for it.
Number 44. It's my turn to read it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Resisting with Shield. That's a lame name. Level 2.
Agreed.
3 cost. It's a rare. It's just it's an event. And so an Empire Soul, whatever. So counter. Choose one of the characters in battle, and that character gains the following ability for the turn. This cannot deal damage to a player.
Now, let's go ahead and target the other two cards first and then come back to this. And we'll end up in the discussion portion of this podcast with this card, if that's okay with you.
No, that's fine.
So we'll go ahead and finish
I'm
up the other two.
actually quite curious to see where you're going with this. I actually have no idea.
It's something I literally thought of yesterday. I'm not even kidding. I literally thought of this yesterday.
Neat. I'll keep this tab open then.
Yeah, we'll get back to this one. But number 45, Ordinal Scale, is a 1/0 event green uncommon. Simply reveal the top card of your library. If it's a level 0 or lower character, put it into your stock, and then put this into your stock. So you can potentially play this for free and get 2 stock, if not at least 1. So, not bad, but once again, this is going with like that effect, that deck that you need fuck tons of stock for.
Right.
So that's all cool. A little bit weird, but at the same time, it serves a purpose in a particular deck. So
yeah, like you're not gonna really see this card anywhere else.
Yeah. Then number 46.
Record of the SAO incident. Level 2, 0, another event, uncommon. If you do not have a character with Avatar Net, you cannot play this from your hand. And then you can perform one of the following effects of your choice. The first effect being choose a level 2 or lower character in your opponent's front row with memory and put it into the waiting room. Or you can choose one of your opponent's characters and that character gets minus 2,000 power for the turn.
Yeah, like this is supposed to be like a within the set type thing because there are characters with recollection in that effect as far as being able to do that. The only one outside of this set as far as like, obviously that was like a unicard that had that recollection as far as, all that kind of stuff. Vernie from Kantai would be a target for this, to my understanding. If not, being able to just straight give something a negative 2k for free, kind of like a reverse backup. If it has hexproof, you're fucked, but it's whatever.
I was also thinking, like, quite literally most of Angel Beats as well. Don't most of them have a memory as well?
Yeah.
So
a lot of stuff like that. So fair enough. Because the Vernie specifically is like if you have a Hibiki, it gets plus 1,000 power.
Right.
A lot of the Vernie stuff, like you said, not Vernie, fuck. A lot of the Angel Beat stuff you said, like has like if you have 1 or 2 characters in memory, stuff like that. So you'll still see those, but nowhere near as much as I would like to see this because this just straight gets rid of shit for free, which is amazing.
Right. Like I don't think we see enough memory cards to even think about this card too much. But I mean, if you want to be the sly person and run that one,
true. Komodo Friends.
It's not searchable, but if you hold it,
yeah. Komodo Friends actually has a decent little bit of it that has some combo stuff, but that's whatever.
Yeah. Well, if we get that down here, then this card will be used.
Fairly decent at that point. But anyway, this is the end of the green stuff. So we had the 4 climaxes, and we're going back to this event, and this is what we'll end the discussion video on, is this card, because this is Darkness Plan. Quite literally Darkness Plan, except for 2 things. One, it's a lower level than Darkness Plan because Darkness Plan from TLR is a level 3 event that's yellow. I'm not worrying about the color in this, but Darkness Plan also gives a 1,500 buff to a character. But it's quite literally just what people refer to as a money counter. You just pay the stock and the damage goes away. Throw money at your problems is the key to it.
All right.
One, Darkness Plan has won me games. Like, straight up won me games in playing TLR. Because, they're going to poke for this last little bit of damage and it could kill me. No, pay 3, stop this entire bit of damage. And I'm just not going to wear with it. Continue my turn, good game. This is the same cost and the same effect of it cannot deal damage to a player. Now, this does not affect characters that have hexproof, admittedly, sure. Now the thing is, I already saw a lot of people in the Facebook groups go, "Oh, I'm automatically taking my Leafa backup out of this out for this card," and I was ready to jump on that bandwagon as well. And while I will still definitely attempt to run 1 or 2 copies of this card, I got to thinking, Timmy, how many times, like you are very good at stock management. Like, you are one of the players I've seen that's very good at stock management for most of the games I've ever seen you play.
Right.
How many times have you played Last Shot Xenon and have ended your turn not killing your opponent and still have 3 stock, having pulled off Last Shot Xenon effects?
honestly, I cannot tell you I've done that too often. Like, I would have had to be really behind early to not have used that stock and just had the spare stock to do a pay 3 cost on my opponent's turn.
The difference
between... Granted, though, if assuming that, I've emptied my stock with the last shot effect, obviously, and, I got the 3 back from that, that's fine, but, that's my last 3 stock.
Exactly.
And if I like use said darkness plan here, I'm not quite sure how it would feel the next turn when I can't play anything. But
exactly, that's the other thing of it. Like, the thing with TOR, it's more synergetic because the climax combo for Yami with Gentle Time does not require any stock whatsoever. You could completely clean out your stock and still have guaranteed 3 stock to be able to still play a darkness plan with. Secondly, there's a back row character that can give character encore to the Yamis, and you can get them back without having to pay stock. That's whatever. But the initial thing of you're going to get back 3 stock guaranteed. If you do not kill them somehow with the Yami combo, you have the stock necessary to pay a darkness plan, to play a darkness plan. With this, I've been in situations before where if I have the fucking stock for it and I have the last shot Xenons, I'm going to expend as much as I possibly can to try to burn for 4, do the damage. Even with switch combo, you pay out so much stock, you only have 1 or 2 stock left at the end of the turn if you did not kill them.
Yeah, and with most Sword Art decks, you're paying stock all throughout the game just from things like Zek and Yuki. Playing all the good level ones that cost at least 1 stock or have an effect that costs 1 stock.
Brainstormers,
brainstorms,
if you have
other
to pay,
effects. If you had to misfortunate of actually having to play Tiffany to do an anti-change, that's another like 2. That's another 3 stock, isn't it? Yeah.
I think his also has a discard effect, so I don't think it was that much stock. I don't remember. I
forgot his name.
The one to
it's like in the Cafe Gilbert or something like that.
Something like that. But because of stuff like that and all the cost effects you're going to have to be paying for, and I've had plenty of times where I can only play like 1 last shot and I have to build up the stock with other characters swinging to even do that attack.
There you go. Dicey Cafe Gilbert.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's pay 1 and then he has his pay 2 discard and avatar in it. So yeah.
Okay, so pay 2. Discard.
So it's pay 2, and then you have to pay 1 to do the backup as well.
So that's 3 stock. That's if you end up doing the anti-change.
Right.
But...
And, in times like these, theoretically speaking, you kind of want to do you're going to be using the anti-change if you play this card down, unless you just... You're in the situation where it's just not there. But
yeah. Like, the fact that this is a level 2... You may actually end up using this at, like, level 2. I'm just stating that it's probably not going to happen as much. That's whatever. To each their own.
Yeah. But then,
if you absolutely
look in the perspective of the... And I hate, beating this dead horse now, but the AG unit deck here...
Yeah.
3 costs is nothing.
Yeah, you have the fucking stock for it. That's whatever.
Right, like you can probably do this a couple times a turn and be like, whatever.
Yeah. Like, I am not trying to put down this card in any way, shape, or form. It's actually still a really good card, considering I've run...
I like it. Yeah. And I see where people are saying, I'd totally take out my Leafa backup for it. Granted, I mean, will I? No. But...
I'm still going to find a way to test this out. I'm still going to test this card out.
I'm willing to give it 100% a shot, but...
Am I going to run
I don't see enough.
No.
Well, I guess if I decide to do a different deck with it... Just because you gave me the example of Last Shot, I'm kind of just referencing it back to Last Shot now, and I'm like, I don't see it in the Last Shot deck. I just can't.
I couldn't either. I could not as much. Like, for...
Switch combo is a hard maybe, but only if you fail the switch.
Yeah, I wouldn't even attempt it. Personally, I would attempt it more in Last Shot than I would in Switch.
That's fair.
This is coming from someone who I've run the Switch combo deck, and it's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but
but I can see it in like any other green splash Sword Art that isn't specifically Switch combo or Last Shot.
Yeah,
like if you're doing like a Yuki Asuna, the Vestige build, obviously this could fit in there quite perfectly.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Because it's very rare you're going to do that pay for Mother's Rosario anyway. So
This is true too. Especially now that we got the level 3 Asuna that essentially does the same thing.
right. But I
So
mean, that's not the Vestige build anymore. And then you're going to build a better deck.
I'm going to somehow have it so it does that and the Vestige combo anyway. I'm just there's tons of little shenanigans I'm going to love to do with this, and like
But
I
no,
would
like I
more
can
than willing to
definitely
try this
see
out.
their opinions, and I actually would like to read other opinions or read actual opinions. But
Yeah, so that does come to the conclusion of if anyone has their thoughts on this, I still think this is a very good card. I expect to see it run in some capacity, but I do want to hear other people's opinions on this because I do not think that it will be seen play as much as people initially stated, because once people realize, I ain't got no fucking stock, I can't play this, they're going to go, oh shit, type thing. So,
But then again, I'm waiting for that one AG card that gains the 4 stock. I'm waiting it to be the new Yuki. It'll be in every deck, and people are like, if you can play the Darkness Plan with this because it's AG, so you just get these 4 stocks and then you Darkness Plan and then you win. And it's like, okay, well, that's Sword Art for you now. And
ain't
then
that the damn truth. It'll be interesting to see.
honestly, every time we get a Sword Art set, there's some random deck that just comes out of the blue and all of a sudden becomes good, or just some random card that comes out of nowhere.
Well, once we get also to talking about like the blue stuff with some of the Kirito and whatnot we've looked at, we can go, oh, there's probably going to end up being, out of this set, there's going to end up being like another type of finisher that'll be interesting to see.
Right.
That actually may end up being more viable with this card than in the other current builds of stuff.
Like, that's the trait of Sword Art, though. Like, before Extra Booster, Sword Art was just kind of Sword Art. It was like, whatever, it's just a hype deck.
Mhm.
But then you get the Extra Booster, and all of a sudden, Last Shot comes out of the blue and becomes one of the strongest cards in the game. The next Sword Art set, all of a sudden, Yuki comes out of nowhere and becomes the strongest card in the game. This set, God knows who it is, but...
Every single one of them, something happens in some way, shape, or form.
Right. So, honestly, this could be the thing. Like, it's already kind of drawn in the eye of people, so...
Yeah. Like, I definitely want to hear people's opinions on this. Like, feel free, please comment, please share your thoughts with us on this, and I just kind of want to see what other people think. There may be something that I missed on it. There may be some other concept of this that I'm overlooking in some capacity. But I still plan to test it out. Please, like I said, let us know your thoughts, and it'd be much appreciated. With that, we have been talking for definitely over an hour at this point.
Oh, probably.
Easily.
30 cards do that to you.
30 cards will definitely do that, especially when I want to talk about stuff like this and go, hey, I have an opinion. I want to see how many people hate this fucking opinion. That's whatever. Anyway. With that, that's enough headache for 1 week. Next week we'll be trying to go over the red cards and bringing back Liz, Silica. I think there was a Klein in here. I don't see it.
You think there was a Klein. I don't think it's in red, though, but...
I can't remember. No, Klein wasn't in red. I'm thinking of someone else. I'm sorry.
It's together. You're thinking of the right person, though. You're thinking of the right person. Because Klein needs acknowledgement.
Yeah. He gets screwed over. There's no peanut. I don't see a peanut in here. But yeah, so...
I mean, we didn't really see it in the movie either, so...
Yeah, no, we did, because Peanut got, evolved into, dragon that attacked them in the movie.
See,
Spoiler alert.
I didn't believe that was Peanut, though, because that same NPC dragon later showed up.
This is true, too.
I was like, I honestly just thought Silica was dumb, but...
It's just like in that What Abridged episode. Yes, Peanut, evolve! But,
oh, jeez.
Anyway, can't wait to see the abridged episode for Ordinal Scale, just saying.
I cannot wait for that abridged movie in the slightest. It's great.
Something witty, please get on that. And then after that, part 4 will be rounding up the set with the blue cards, which is also another 30 cards, so that's going to be fun to go through, but at the same time, more interesting stuff to talk about. So.
And oh boy, when we go over those blue cards, we're going to have to reference cards from all sorts of different colors.
We really are. It's going to be a lot of throwbacks to stuff in a lot of colors, so it'll be interesting. But with that, thank you all very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. Please hit that subscribe button if you have not already subscribed to the channel. If you decide not to, hey, just thank you for stopping by and listening to us rant about cards for this long. It's still kind of cool.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Any other closing thoughts for this set before we sign out?
No, I'm just excited to see the rest of the set, honestly.
Agreed. So, with that, I'm definitely ready to do more of this at some point. But this is Kool-Aid signing out, and we got Timmy.
All right. See you later, guys.
Peace.